Good morning. Mary, Queen MLV, Talk to Me Tuesday on a Tuesday, March 24th, 2020. And things have changed. We're in a pandemic. Nails are gone. Hair's not colored. Contacts gone. My eyes have been watering since last Thursday. And I finally, when I got home from work yesterday, had to take my contacts out, so I can't see very well. But otherwise fine. Yesterday, starting at 5 p.m., the governor of Louisiana, John Bel Edwards, issued a stay-at-home order. So we are now stay-at-homing, and I need to be at work in about 30 minutes. Which means I don't have to shower, I don't have to get dressed, I don't have to drive because I'm working right here on this computer. So stay-at-home means different things for different people. At my office, it means you are encouraged to be at home working. You are allowed to be at the office. If you need to be, I can go pick up things. I can go there all the time, but we have about 120 people in our office, and that may not be the purpose of the stay-at-homing. But anyway, I will be working at home, and I have way, way more to do than I could possibly do at home, so I'm not going to worry about running out of stuff to do. And it's going to give me about 12 to 15 more minutes a day when I lose my commute to quilt. So anyway, that's the story. Little bit of sad news. I have lost my last crew member, Ethel, my dear Ethel, who sits right here and looks me on the face. And if you want me to define lost, I don't know. Last Tuesday, you hear my garbage truck? Those are the loudest garbage trucks. Last Tuesday at bedtime, she wanted to go out. Not unusual. She usually, if I get up in the night, I'll let her in. If she's out, if she needs me, she'll go to my window and cry, and I let her in. Hear my air conditioner? It's a noisy day, this stay-at-homing. So anyway, she left, didn't leave a note, and didn't give any indication that anything was wrong, and she just hasn't been back. So I don't know if she ran away, went to a house with better food, or if she got lost, or if she crawled under the house and died, or if she got stolen, or if she got run over by a car, or if she got killed by an animal. She was declawed before I got her, which always made me not only sad for her, but nervous about her being outside. But she loved going outside. She loved to hunt, and so I let her. And anyway, I kept hoping she would come home, and she hasn't. The interesting thing is she has this little friend in the neighborhood who would call for her, and she would go out to play with her, and they were together a lot. And I saw that cat before Ethel came to live with me, but I have not seen her since last Tuesday night. So the two of them seem to have been gone. Now, somebody might be, I don't know. She's a beautiful cat. She's psychotic, which they'll certainly find out in time, but I miss her terribly, and I don't know what happened, and I don't like not knowing. So anyway, that's the news from my house. We are doing fine. We have enough food. I think I mentioned this last week. We have enough food in our freezers, collective freezers. I have two brothers, one I eat with almost every night, and the other one lives across the river, and we eat with him when we can. So he's the most isolated of us. He lives on a ranch and by himself. And so he and his animals are probably very safe there. He hunts on his property. He fishes. He lives on the river, and he has other water. You hear my computer? I don't know if you hear that, but this is the noisiest day, isn't it? So, oh my goodness, what are all these notifications? Microsoft account problems, restart to install this later. Oh, and my Kindle is attached. I knew that. Anyway, and I found, yes, I'm charging some things, okay? So, never had such a noisy day. So anyway, we have, he's got game in his freezer and fish. My, brother here who lives about 6 blocks from me, in the house I grew up in, has, he's in my parents' house, obviously, and so he's got the huge chest freezer and it is full. But, he doesn't have the vegetables that we used to have filling that freezer because my grandparents were farmers, and so we used to have it full of vegetables. Right now, it's just pretty much seafood and meat, and some beautiful, beautiful meats, and of course, seafood out of the Gulf of Mexico. So we've been eating so, and then 2 blocks from me in the other direction is my favorite new farmer's market store, Sprouts, and they have the freshest, most beautiful produce you can imagine. So we are eating better than we ever have. We used to cook at home about half the time at my house and then go out to dinner about half the time, and now we're eating every night at his house and just having a fabulous time. We had steak and shrimp last night with green beans and some rice. No, it wasn't rice. It was interesting. It was something in the oven that we broiled. It was a vegetable. Anyway, some broiled vegetable from the oven. Really good. Really, really good. And just anyway, I've been quilting a lot, which is so much fun. And less places to go, less shopping to do, things to do, so more staying at home and quilting, which I do love. I do want to talk to you about 4 things. One, I probably showed you before. You know these, I'm trying to get rid of my pineapple packs, and since I committed to getting those designed and quilted into things, another one has come. I just got one a few days ago, so I'll show you that one. Anyway, this one, blue one, I think I showed you before, but now it's ready to be put with Molly to get quilted. So first, let me show you these are pineapple packs, are packages of coordinating fabric. These coordinating fabrics that come in a pack pre-cut. So, and they're of course die cut. So they're just a breeze to sew. Just fit together perfectly. I added one fabric to this, and it's a solid white. So first, let me show you the pattern in case I didn't show you or you forgot from last week, because we need you to keep current on these things. It's quite important. Here's the pattern I designed for this one. And then, of course, any pineapple pack that comes in this same pack, same amount of cuts, I can just pull that pattern out and make another one. It's just a wall hanging or maybe a big baby quilt. It's not big enough to be much of anything else. But anyway, I used every inch of it. There was one strip left in this that was not big enough to go around for a final border. So I made binding, and of course if it's not big enough for a border, it's not big enough for binding. So I used I pieced the binding with pieces every now and then of the other stuff. So that's going to be the binding. And then I'll show you, I'm going to get up and show you this, but I also want to step out for a second because I want to show you I ended up with anyway, there was one piece left, and I used it to make the label. So that it's not that interesting. So anyway, this is how it turned out, and I am quite happy with it. Isn't that pretty? So it is a true batik. It doesn't just look like one, so it feels like a batik. So I don't know if I would use this as a baby quilt, but for a wall hanging, for a wall hanging, it would really be pretty. It is square, and it is. I'm really happy with it. So I'm going to. I don't know how I want to quilt it. I'm going to put an edge to edge on it. No need to complicate things, but don't know what design, but I'm thinking about that. So that's one that I am happy with. Then the next one, I also took a design, a pineapple pack, and added it to a panel, which is the same I did with the cats last time, except this one is a panel. It's actually hanging in the other room. It's finished except for one border. It's got one border on it, and I am going to put that border on it and show it to you next week. And I think several of you are going to really like it. I'll give you a hint. Not CC's, but it's got some mocha on it. So it's I'm very happy with that. And that panels come with the strangest things on the side, don't they? They come with little things that coordinate and match and everything, and some you can just say, oh, this is something I can add to this, like my frozen panel. I just had extra things that I could just add in there that were great. And some come with these beautiful like pieces of things, and they match perfectly, of course, but they don't really, they're odd sizes, and they're not big enough to do much with, and so they are a challenge because I just can't throw fabric away, of course. So on that one, I ended up using some of the extra little pieces to make the label, and then I do have a couple of extra pieces to put in. I don't know if you remember that I used my scraps and put them onto added machine tape, and so they'll be in there. And then also on this one, I did end up, on my border, I ended up with some just miscellaneous 2.5 inch by something pieces, and I'm using that in my quilt along. So my quilt along, I am doing happy hour in the time of pandemic. And if none of you, those of you who aren't laughing right now, my favorite, one of my favorites, I have lots of favorite books, but one of my favorite books is Love in the Time of Cholera. And I thought, and it might be interesting to know that I don't drink, and so happy hour is an odd choice for me to start with, but happy hour in the time of pandemic is what I'm calling that. And of course, it's a self-administrated quilt along, which is interesting, and I'm having a blast. I have made, they're right over there on my strip quilt from our strip challenge. There, those bottles. That's the edge of them. I'm doing 3 of each bottle, and I am just finished my 3rd block, so I have 9 bottles to show you. I've got a picture for you, and it's I'm really, really liking it. I basically have 3 wine bottles, 3 bottles of something that might be wine. One looks like a crazy Mexican tequila, and then I have 3 carafes, and I'm now working on my flutes, and it's not a flute, it's a flute, and I'm going to make 3 of those. I I just started the first one and only picked out one fabric so far, and it's a pink. So maybe it's a pink champagne or something like that. Anyway, I am really, really having fun with the happy hour one. I've loved that fabric, that pattern since the first time Jennifer showed it to us, and I just didn't really know what I would do with it. And so I am now very excited, and I have decided what I'm going to do with it. My laundry room / pantry has a wall, and that's where I keep like my potions and things, and so that's going to be a wall hanging in there, and I think that would be really cute. Let me show you a picture of what I've got so far. And lastly, oh, by the way, these things like this and my one that I'm doing with the other pineapple pack, these are my new in-between things. So when I'm paper piecing, it's not only a good spacer between my paper piecing, because like right now, I don't know what your methods are, but I'm making 3 of each block. So I have 3 different patterns, 3 different stacks, and I make 3 of my bottles at the same time. And so I'm piecing them, and so I don't necessarily need something between them because there are 3 of each step, but I still continue to put a straight, mindless piecing, just repetitive piecing between my paper piecing, because first off, I'm in the habit, and second, it will get one of these done. Just cranking them in between my paper piecing and sticking them on the wall, and you're focusing on your paper piecing, and you finish a couple bottles, and you look up, and your quilt is done. So that's helping me get some things like that. But I do want to show you my new pineapple pack and my challenge for this week, because my new pineapple pack, as you recall, pineapple packs come like this, and this one is called Carla, and Carla has 20, like I can see this, 20 5-inch squares, 20 2.5-inch squares, 5 bonus quarters, and a bonus quarter is 21 inches by 21 inches. So I've got those in here like that. And then I've got another bonus quarter, 21 by 21, that coordinates. And then they sent me thread. And the fuchsia on here matches also, but it's not going to show in the end. So I've got everything I need to start piecing this, except it would only be about 50-some inches square, or less by more rectangular, if you follow the math on that. And so I wanted something bigger, like I did with my cats, and so I decided to match this up with one of my panels. And at first I thought, these are crazy colors, I need something really monotone or really sedate to go with this. And then, of course, I'm looking through my panels, and as soon as I see what I'm about to show you, that solves that, because this is not going to be sedate. I'm taking those crazy fabrics and putting them, there went my thread, I'm taking those crazy fabrics and putting them around this crazy panel. Wait till you see this. Isn't that adorable? So between this and I'm looking, this is I don't know if these are true batiks. I mean, and by true batiks, I mean, of course they're batiks, but you know how batiks sometimes feel different. This one feels pretty much like 100% cotton. I haven't opened the rest of them. Anyway, This is just digitally printed on cotton, so it's not a batik. And I really have no problem mixing batiks and quilting cottons. Never have. So anyway, that's going to be my in between project, and I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time on EQ figuring out what I'm going to do with it, and then it's just going to be my between project, and it's just going to show itself on the design wall as I'm doing my happy hour in the time of pandemic. So anyway, as you can see, I'm having a blast. Now, it's just about time for me to get this thing processed so that I can get to work. I don't want to be late for work on my first day, stay at homing. You guys be safe and be well, and don't touch anybody. Love you. See you next week. Bye.